I could say a lot of things about him, but I respect my opponent. It's not for me to talk, it's for you to do the talking.
No, he just didn't he didn't snap his jab.
Anthony Joshua explodes on Jake Paul after Jake gets brutally knocked out in sparring, and it's a perfect example of why hype can't replace skill. Jake's flashy persona and social media bravado crumble under real pressure. AJ's power, timing, and sharpness left no room for excuses. This was a brutal lesson in humility for the YouTube fighter. Anthony Joshua makes it clear he isn't here to babysit Jake Paul or any overhyped social media fighter. Anthony Joshua's focus is on execution, discipline, and proving himself in the ring. While Jake Paul relies on flash and chatter, Anthony Joshua demonstrates why true champions let skill and strategy speak louder than online hype.
I just don't expect anything from anyone. People are entitled to talk about sparring. People are entitled to not talk about sparring. I just want to make sure that I handle my own corner. And how I handle my own corner is do what I do, go out to fight every night. In front of me.
Lawrence Okolie doesn't hold back, and neither does reality. Jake Paul lacks the skills to compete with real fighters like Anthony Joshua. Even sparring exposes his weaknesses. Speed, footwork, and technique aren't just words. They're the difference between a true champion and a social media sensation. Jake's hype collapses the moment he faces a professional ring warrior.
Bigger head guards, bigger gloves, so stuff like speed and like athleticism plays more of a factor because you're able to move in and out, and the one shot isn't as important. But obviously I punch reasonably hard and I'm quite strong physically, so I never really fought.
Derek Chisora makes it clear Anthony Joshua doesn't need to show mercy. Jake Paul's illusions of toughness are about to be shattered. When AJ steps in, it's not a friendly sparring session, it's a demonstration of why real champions dominate. This fight won't last long if Jake underestimates Anthony Joshua's power and experience.
Easy fight for him, and I think this should be laid to rest because I don't think AJ's gonna go in and try and pat. AJ's gonna smoke him.
Duke McKenzie nails it. Jake Paul is far from world class. While the internet hypes him up, Anthony Joshua operates on another level entirely. Technique, ring IQ, and experience aren't optional, they're mandatory. Jake's flashy persona doesn't disguise his limitations, and AJ is poised to make him realize that hype doesn't win fights.
I don't think he's world class. He's not really my cup of tea. I mean, I don't look at boxing probably the way you do or most sort of fans do. I look at it.
Joe Rogan breaks it down. Anthony Joshua's size, reach, and power are absolute nightmares for Jake Paul. At 6'6" and 252 pounds, AJ can control the ring, dominate the jab, and end exchanges before they start. Jake's tricks and hype won't stand a chance when Anthony Joshua brings precision, strength, and experience to the canvas.
6'1" versus 6'6" Anthony Joshua. Jake weighed in for the Tyson fight at 199. Joshua against Ngannou was 252.
6'6", not just 6'6", but 6'6", and knows how to use every fucking inch of it. Knows how to keep that stick in your face. He was keep that jab in his face, and that right hand, if it hits you, you're...
Derek Chisora points out what many insiders already know: Jake Paul's sparring camp is nothing compared to what Anthony Joshua faces daily. While Jake basks in hype and light sparring, AJ trains with elite fighters, pushing him to the limit. This gap in preparation makes it clear why Jake Paul won't last against Anthony Joshua's experience and intensity.
I look at everybody he's got in his sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be menace.
Anthony Joshua proves he's more than just knockout power. His strategy, intelligence, and adaptability make him a nightmare for overhyped fighters like Jake Paul. AJ's focus on breaking opponents down methodically exposes every weakness, proving that real champions win with brains and technique, not flashy social media hype. Jake Paul simply isn't prepared for this level.
I'm not dependent on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down.
Frank Warren absolutely dismantles the idea of Jake Paul thinking he's ready for Anthony Joshua. Closed-door sparring and hype clips won't prepare a fighter for a real heavyweight like AJ. Anthony Joshua's skill, power, and ring IQ make this one of the toughest matchups imaginable. Jake Paul's overconfidence and reliance on social media theatrics are laughable in comparison. Warren's criticism highlights the absurdity of Jake thinking he can challenge a world-class champion without putting in real work. AJ's preparation and professionalism exposed the gap between a true boxer and a social media sensation. Jake's hype ends where Anthony Joshua's fists begin.
What do you want to go sparring for? Behind closed doors. Let all the fans see it. Do it in the ring, get paid for it. I mean, it's be the biggest fight ever. Why do you want to do that? That's nonsense. It's stupid, ridiculous. Want to make the fight? That's the easiest fight.
Johnny Nelson points directly to the fatal flaw in Jake Paul's preparation. His legs won't hold up against Anthony Joshua. Even if Jake believes in his best camp, AJ's size, strength, and endurance make short work of that. Joshua's conditioning, footwork, and explosive power leave no room for a YouTube fighter to survive long. Nelson's insight shows that hype and flashy online training clips can't replicate the punishment or skill Anthony Joshua brings. Jake's fragile foundation is exposed, and every step in the ring will remind him why social media bravado can't compete with elite heavyweight discipline.
And I said, look, if you're to believe that he had the best training camp, his legs have gone. And if I've got it wrong.
Shannon Briggs acknowledges that even Jake Paul's training mishaps are entertaining, but real boxing is unforgiving. Anthony Joshua thrives in the ring where mistakes are punished instantly. Jake's social media fame and hype cannot protect him from the reality of facing AJ. Every slip and misstep exposes his weaknesses, and Anthony Joshua's experience ensures that nothing goes unnoticed. Briggs' perspective reinforces that while fans may enjoy Jake's theatrics, the ring doesn't care about hype, it only respects skill, discipline, and power. Jake Paul's falls are a preview of the punishment AJ can deliver in a real fight.
I'm hearing things that he's been dropped in the ring, in the gym and stuff like that, but that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, little slips in the ring, in the gym. That's okay, but we're going to see. This is going to be a good fight.
Eddie Hearn highlights Jake Paul's limitations against real opposition. Slowing down isn't just natural, it's evidence of being outclassed. Against Anthony Joshua, every hesitation, every misstep will be ruthlessly exploited. Jake's YouTube training and hype fights can't prepare him for the precision, speed, and power AJ delivers. Hearn's critique proves that Paul isn't ready for elite competition, and his flaws will be magnified in the heavyweight spotlight. Anthony Joshua's dominance doesn't rely on hype, it comes from technical mastery and relentless conditioning, making Jake Paul's bravado meaningless the moment the first bell rings.
He is looking like a beast in camp for this fight because he would have put everything into this camp, but it doesn't mean that can always translate in a ring when you get to the back end of your career. He's had loads of injuries. He's definitely coming to the end of it.
Tommy Fury's words perfectly capture the overwhelming mismatch between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Even fighters with solid skills like Fury acknowledge that AJ operates on a completely different level. Jake Paul may have built a reputation on hype, social media theatrics, and soft sparring, but Anthony Joshua brings a combination of size, power, experience, and technique that simply cannot be matched. Tommy's exaggeration about AJ winning with a broken arm isn't far off. It's a humorous way to underline just how one-sided this matchup would be. Jake's overconfidence and media-fueled bravado are laughable when compared to AJ's disciplined preparation and ability to exploit weaknesses with surgical precision. If the bell rings, Jake's world of hype and illusions collapses immediately under Anthony Joshua's dominance. This is not just a fight, it's a lesson in the difference between real champions and internet sensations.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go.
Frank Warren emphasizes that while any fight carries inherent danger, Jake Paul is stepping into a realm he isn't equipped for. Anthony Joshua's mastery in the ring, combined with his size, power, and tactical IQ, makes him an absolute nightmare for anyone outside the elite boxing world. Warren's observation about AJ being a licensed, disciplined boxer underscores the enormous gap between professional fighters and social media stars. Jake Paul can talk a big game, but understanding the risk and trusting in preparation is only part of it. Executing against a seasoned heavyweight like Anthony Joshua is something completely different. AJ's work ethic, ring awareness, and killer instinct are a world apart from Jake's hype, making this matchup more of a spectacle of reality-crushing illusion than an even contest.
It's a dangerous fight. Of course, it's it's a dangerous fight. But I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He trains. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot. And he knows what he's going to be up against, but he must believe in himself to do it.
Tony Bellew perfectly frames the physical and technical disparity between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. AJ's height, weight, and power advantages are massive, and his experience ensures that he uses them strategically. The thought of Jake Paul trying to match AJ's size and skill is almost comical. He's out of his depth. Bellew's insistence on seeing 10 ounces gloves in a real ring highlights that hype fights and online personas mean nothing against the cold reality of a professional heavyweight. Anthony Joshua's ability to close distance, control the pace, and punish mistakes makes Jake Paul's chances nearly non-existent. Every inch, every pound, and every second in the ring favors AJ, ensuring that Paul will face a decisive, humiliating lesson in what it means to step up to a real champion.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches bigger, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until the two of them got 10-ounce gloves on in a boxing ring. Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long.
Eddie Hearn highlights why Anthony Joshua is in a league far beyond Jake Paul. Real progress comes from relentless training, quality sparring, and day-to-day discipline, none of which Jake Paul has truly experienced at this level. AJ's camp pushes him beyond limits, sharpening technique, timing, and power that Jake can't replicate in YouTube-style training. Anthony Joshua thrives in environments where mistakes are punished immediately and where strategic adjustments are essential. Hearn's insight underscores that while Jake Paul can hype fights online, he cannot match the grind, intelligence, and preparation AJ brings to the ring. This isn't a social media skirmish. It's a professional boxing masterclass that Paul is entirely unprepared for. Anthony Joshua's consistency, stamina, and quality sparring ensure Jake Paul will face an overwhelming, educational, and likely humiliating lesson in real heavyweight boxing.
In camp, living in camp, training with him day in, day out. And it made a big difference in the fight. So I think he knows that the way that he's going to improve is time in the gym and also the quality of sparring.
After breaking down everything, it's clear that Anthony Joshua isn't just another opponent for Jake Paul, he's a force of nature. AJ's size, power, experience, and technical brilliance completely overshadow Jake's hype, social media theatrics, and light sparring. Every expert, from Tommy Fury to Eddie Hearn, has confirmed that Jake is massively outclassed. The gap between a world-class heavyweight champion and a YouTube fighter couldn't be wider. If the fight happens, it won't be about knockouts or highlights, it'll be a clinic from Anthony Joshua, exposing every weakness Jake Paul has in real time. Fans can argue, troll, or hype Jake all they want, but in the ring, reality hits hard and fast. So now we want to hear from you. How do you see this matchup playing out? Can Jake Paul survive Anthony Joshua's fists? Or is this over before it even begins? Comment your predictions, smash that like button if you're backing AJ, and subscribe for more insider boxing analysis and straight up truths from the ring.